Google is about to launch what I think is the phone that I'm excited for the most this year. Yes, more than the iPhone 16 Pro, more than a Pixel 9 Pro, more than even Samsung's Fold 6. I'm of course talking about the Pixel Fold 2, which actually got leaked heavily. Like, almost every single thing about it is known, and it is a huge upgrade over the original. So here's everything we know and why I'm so freaking excited about this. Okay, so one of the very first leaks on Pixel Fold 2 comes from OnLeaks. He posted a bunch of renders in collaboration with SmartPre that show us what looks to be a completely reimagined Pixel Fold. The biggest surprise to me is that Google is massively upgrading the inner display. The bezels are significantly thinner and also uniform this time, plus the front camera is now simply a cutout rather than being built into that thick top bezel. And I honestly think that this is how it should have been from the very start. I was never really a fan of how thick the bezels were on the Pixel Fold 1, especially the top and the bottom bezels. Like, the moment you had it side by side against the Fold 5 looked as if it came from 5 years into the future. And now the second gen finally looks on par. I don't think it looks quite as good as the Fold 5, as I think the bezels on the Fold 5 are a bit thinner. Plus, the Fold 5 also has that under-the-display front camera, which does give you that true full-screen experience. But compared to the Pixel Fold 1, this is a major upgrade. And I should also mention that the inner display is now bigger too, measuring at 8.02 inches compared to 7.6 on the original Pixel Fold, making it one of the biggest displays on any foldable. For comparison, the Fold 5 has a 7.6-inch display, the OnePlus Open has a 7.8, while the Honor Magic V2, my favorite foldable so far, has a 7.92-inch display. Now, I haven't used the OnePlus Open, but I have used all of the other phones, and I gotta say, the display size on the Honor Magic V2 has definitely been the most enjoyable to watch and read content on. Now, aside from the inner display, there are some other changes too here. The outer display, which I think was by far the best part about the original Pixel Fold, is now getting bigger too, at 6.29 inches as opposed to the previous 5.8. However, it is also getting a bit narrower and taller. Personally, I don't think that this is a problem at all, as now it will simply look more like a traditional smartphone. And I know that I keep going back to the Honor Magic V2, but that phone had the perfect outer display for me, as it looked just like a normal phone, but then once you unfolded it, that's when you got the true tablet-like experience. But wait, there's more. And yeah, there's definitely more. Daniel from the future here. I'm currently on holiday in beautiful Romania for Easter, and I just wanted to let you know that the iPhone 15 giveaway on our Discord is still going. And we've now entered the voting stage. Out of all of your 188 submissions for wallpaper spec ideas, me and my team each picked our favorite 10s. And then the ones that were common between us became the actual top 10s. So we've got Glorious Graffiti, Sparking Vision, Motherboard Madness, Grateful Go, Eternal Earth, Lost Views, Half Here, Minimalist Interstellar, Pantheon, and Retro Ride. Simply go on our top 10 selection on our Discord to be able to vote. The creator of the pack that gets the most votes wins the iPhone 15 plus a 1 year of full access wallpaper subscription. And there might be some more prizes as well. And now, back to the video. The body is now squared off, as opposed to the rounded off frame of the original Pixel Fold, which I think is great, as it's only going to make it grippier. And the best part is that it is now thinner as well, measuring only 10.54 millimeters when folded, as opposed to 12.1 on the original Pixel Fold, which I'm extremely happy to see, as the original Pixel Fold was already one of the thinnest foldables on the market. Now, it won't be quite as thin as the current thinnest foldable, which is the Honor Magic V2, which measures in at just 10.1 millimeters, but I mean, 10.1 versus 10.54, that's pretty close. And just as a comparison, the Z Fold 5 is 13.4, while the upcoming Fold 6 is set to be 12.2. So this Pixel Fold 2 will be noticeably thinner than even the Fold 6. So with the second version of the Pixel Fold, Google will already be fixing the two main issues of the entire foldable industry: the aspect ratio of the outer screen and the overall thickness. But wait, it gets even better. The camera module on the back features an entirely new design. Gone is the previous camera bar look, and in is this new kind of weird design, I have to say. It's definitely not the prettiest camera module for sure, but the fact that Google's relocating it to the left, something that they haven't done with any of their Pixels before since the Pixel 6, as they wanted to keep that iconic visor look, makes me think that Google might be upgrading the modules here. Now, the camera on the original Pixel Fold wasn't bad by any means. For a foldable, it was actually very good. But from my usage, I did prefer the shots coming out of the Z Fold 5. They were more vibrant and also sharper, especially at night. Of course, Google is known to rely more on their image processing rather than on their hardware, but there's only so much you can do with subpar hardware, and for a foldable at least, Google definitely had some of the weakest hardware in the industry. So the fact that they might be upgrading the camera modules means that combined with their already impressive image processing, we may now get the best overall camera on any foldable phone by far. Now, aside from all of these changes, there is one more that I think is equally as important as all the other improvements, and that is the hinge. Although it is quite hard to tell from this leak, it does seem to me that the hinge has an entirely new design. There was also another leak, which is this actual photo of the Pixel Fold 2, and here we do get a much better view of the hinge, which looks to close perfectly flat as opposed to the original Pixel Fold on the left right here. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but the hinge on the Pixel Fold 1 was by far the worst possible hinge out of any foldable out right now, at least from the ones that I've used. That was because unlike on other foldables, this hinge did not snap open. So you always kind of had to push it to open flat, which kind of gave me this impression that I was going to break my phone. Now, all of this made me realize how similar the Pixel Fold 2 seems to the OnePlus Open. Like, if you were to put both side by side, the outer display looks almost identical, even down to the curvature of the body. Same goes for the inner display. They both seem to have this weird dual cutout, one for the main camera, and I'm assuming the other is for the ambilight sensor. And even the overall shape of the frame, with the squared off look, seems extremely similar. Of course, the camera array on the back is vastly different, but other than that, these phones look like siblings, which is actually a really good thing, as the OnePlus Open was one of the very best reviewed foldables on the market. And despite not having used the OnePlus Open myself, I do believe that it is the perfect blend of great foldable hardware and great foldable software. You see, I absolutely love the hardware on my Honor V2, but the software is just not great. It lacks basic features like a dock, and it just doesn't feel nearly as polished as the Pixel Fold or the Z Fold 5. Google, on the other hand, had some amazing software experience on the original Pixel Fold. Although not quite as feature-rich as the Z Fold 5, it was super clean and super easy to use. And if you thought that things could not get any better with the Pixel Fold 2, well, they are. As it seems like rather than Google using their Tensor G3 chip, they would now jump straight to the Tensor G4 paired with 16 gigabytes of RAM. Currently, we've got 12 gigs of RAM inside the Pixel Fold 1. 16 is what we have on the OnePlus Open, once again shrinking the gap between these two foldables even more. And in terms of what benefits that Tensor G4 would give us, there has already been a leaked Geekbench score of 1082 for single core and 3121 for the multi-core. This is of course considerably lower than Apple's A17 Pro and even lower than the Tensor G3. However, it is worth remembering that this is just a pre-production score, and this is also the 8 gigs of RAM version, so likely the Pixel 9 variant rather than the Pixel 9 Pro or even the Pixel Fold 2. The good news is that the Tensor G4 is said to be more power efficient and also run cooler as well, so if you're upgrading from the original Pixel Fold, which came with a Tensor G2 that ran especially hot, then you're getting a really nice upgrade here as well. So in conclusion, if Google is able to take that amazing software experience from the Pixel Fold 1 and then combine it with that truly impressive Pixel Fold 2 hardware that got leaked, then I think that Google might even surpass the OnePlus Open in terms of this perfect blend of foldable hardware and foldable software. But let me know, what do you guys think? Don't forget about that iPhone 15 giveaway. I'm Daniel, this means ZONEofTECH, and I'll see you guys in the next one. ZONEofTECH signing out. Cheers.